I'm going to share something about the count that really no one knows except for those who take some of my classes. Before you enjoy the video, if you want to go deeper with me, check out my meditation masterclass. It is unlike anything. It's pinned in the comments below.
One person we both share a mutual fascination and interest with is Count Saint Germain. I've read the I Am discourses and just love his teachings. And more and more I find other books and I read about the history of Saint Germain. So I'd love to share your perspectives on his teachings and why it's so popular now. It's really fascinating why a lot of these older teachings are coming back, and so many people are interested in such a. Let's be honest, it's a very simple teaching. The I am teaching, the way that Count Saint Germain is teaching it, is very simple but so profound. We really needed to understand this perspective.
Well, I would say that you can always count on the count. Okay, so um, I think part of his otherworldly wisdom is the simplicity. And I think that's part of the essence of the projections from that higher self, such as Merlin, Moses, Saint Germain, Plato, Gilgamesh, to name a few, Francis Bacon, the true author of Shakespeare. The part of the otherworldly, because those incarnations are incarnations of ascended masters. Those ascended masters are from the same higher self. That higher self is from a different God. Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I make no bones about it. I'm from that same higher self. Lots of people have already figured that out. So I think part of what makes that particular incarnation so important is that he is an embodiment, and that particular incarnation was kind of like represents that this kind of consciousness. He is an embodiment of the way that humanity is going to be working with itself throughout this next age. He really is the embodiment of that consciousness. He is the incarnations, the aspects of that higher self that he's part of. And I named a few of the other incarnations. That higher self is going to be projecting aspects of itself that we will then deem as, and those aspects will be called an ascended master. Those teachings, that specific vibration, those specific understandings, so simple, just as you said, Brian, because it's mastery. It's so simple, but it's so immediate, so powerful, and so tangible. And that's how you know you're working with mastery. And the Count embodied, he is that. And same with those other incarnations, by the way. Merlin, Moses, Saint Germain, Francis Bacon, Plato, and yes, RJ. These incarnations embody a wisdom. They carry a frequency and an emanation that helps liberate humanity and move it to the next level of consciousness. And that particular lifetime was so key in terms of moving humanity to this next level of understanding. We're going to be working with the teachings of Saint Germain. We're going to work with the teachings of RJ over these next several hundred years, without question, because they're so simple that anyone can do them, but they're so profound and so true and so tangible. It's the way that we're meant to work with each other, because it leads to experiential understanding of the self. Experiential understanding of the self. No more conceptualizations or beliefs. Master Sananda, who we know as Christ, one of the incarnations we know as Christ, who, by the way, Joseph, the earthly father of Christ, is an incarnation of Saint Germain. Christ took a certain way of operating to its pinnacle, to its zenith, the purification by believing in him, by purifying himself and being able to work at the height of belief is what carried us into this next stage. The next stage is we can no longer evolve our consciousness through belief, because beliefs are things whose landing spot lie outside of the self. And we now understand that the self is everything. So we're moving into this age of Aquarius, this age of Saint Germain. We're moving into an age where everything must be experiential. So it must be tangibly known. And that is the unveiling of more of the I am. And that's really what this is. And him being channeled by Edna Ballard and Guy Ballard. And Edna Ballard is a female incarnation of El Moria. El Morya is Master M. For those who don't know who El Morya is an ascended master. El Morya was Akbar the Great. El Morya was King Arthur. El Morya was Sri Yukteswar, the guru to Paramahansa Yogananda, also a self-realized God consciousness being. So we're moving into this new stage of experiential wisdom, and he is really the embodiment. He is the embodiment, and that's why his teachings are so. And you've worked with Saint Germain.
Mm-hmm.
You've worked with other incarnations, Brian, of that same higher self, right? Okay. So they really resonate with you because you actually have a personal, tangible understanding of it, right? And these are the teachings that humanity is going to be using to move forward, certainly over the next 300 years, without question. These are the teachings, and it's part of why I push myself as much as I do to write books constantly, to come up with as many courses and classes as I can, to do in-person events, because I know how important it is. I know how absolutely important it is. It's a tremendous honor. It's my passion. It's my love. It's also an absolutely awesome responsibility to know that you're the one that is supposed to be doing exactly what it is that you're doing, because it's the right ingredient that's needed. And the count that incarnation is very he he was able to master things. He was a master of teleportation, and he was a master of he still is a master of alchemy, and that he was able to do things that is just quite extraordinary. Now, I'm going to share something about the Count that really no one knows except for those who take some of my classes.
Mm-hmm.
The Count uh, was had developed quite a personality. He could talk to anyone. He could entertain anyone. He almost seems as if he knows everything, and he can kind of access anything and seems to know everything. Now that, by the way, that trait is very similar in all of the incarnations from that higher self. By the way, this ability to access everything in this deep, deep reservoir of wisdom and knowledge, it's almost unfathomable. But here's the thing about the Count that nobody really knows, and I mean nobody really knows. He had a partner in that lifetime
Mm-hmm.
who preferred to be behind the scenes, never really wanted to be seen, never really wanted to be known in any way, and was doing the exact same high level work as the Count. And this soul was doing it behind the scenes. And that's the soul that we would know, that we have known as Paramahansa Yogananda. Now, that incarnation with the Count, his partner in crime, is not crime, his partner in crime that no one knew about, is another ascended master. So when Saint Germain would go out and wow everyone and do all these things, and that's for real. I mean, he is the Count. He would agree to do things and to take on tasks because he knew that his partner would take care of half of it for him.
Right.
So he would come back and say, hey, listen, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to transmute this, we have to transmute that, we have to access this, we have to access that. And that other ascended master was like, yeah, no problem. But that ascended master preferred to work behind the scenes, which is why that incarnation of Yogananda was very interesting, because Yogananda had to be so front facing. To come all the way back, the teachings of Saint Germain is the embodiment, and all his incarnations is the embodiment of the age of Aquarius. It's humanity is going to work with itself in a way that it's going to leave behind the 3D matrix. And we do that by working with the I am directly and realizing that the self is whole and complete as it is. And we stop putting our focus on anything outside of the self. And we start working with the self and bringing out more of what we really are. And that will get reflected in the outer world. And that is actually how we move up the frequencies, how we ascend the frequencies. And that is actually how we create heaven on earth. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now, if you are desirous of more of the real you and less of your conditioned, agitated mind, if you know that you can create a life that you're not leading right now, but you know you can, check out my meditation masterclass. It's pinned in the comments below.